little crypt keeper style. Oh, it's one of those days. I looked up. I was just relaxing after lunch. Been a slow day today, and it was 3 o'clock, and I'm like, "Ooh, got to stream." So this is keeping me honest, and I'm hoping, of course, that my mic is working well. Let's get some music. I didn't have music on yesterday. I want to hear you droning on about whatever. All right, let me do the mic check. Okay. All right, so right now I am concerned for my family in the Florida Peninsula. They're on the east side, not the side that Milton is coming at, but on the east side. I didn't think it was going to be that big a hurricane. It looked, the little maps show it's like a circle and they show where it's going. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's going at this little corridor. But when you look at it, it's actually huge. And so they're getting a tropical storm, and there's tornadoes that I guess just touched down earlier today. So it's a little concerning. I mean, they're not going to get it as hard as, say, Tampa and Clearwater, those areas. But to all my family down there, includes not only my parents, but my aunts, uncles, friends, and family, be safe. I hope you've buckled down and ready to get through this thing. So I've been promising this to you guys. It's always been failing. So let's see if it works this time. It looked like it worked. I did close down Chrome to restart everything. And now for some reason, it doesn't want to show this. I have no idea. Here we go. Okay, so I'm a flat colorist. What happens is, in this case, the artist, who is Mark Brooks, sends me, so you can see this. Fill it with white. There we go. Sends me the line art, and it's all usually typically on one layer. This time he had it broken down because he had the Gwen on one and webs on another. And sometimes I don't get like that. Sometimes I get the whole thing as one layer. And what I do is I didn't really tackle the layer, but I tackled Gwen first, I believe. Actually, I think I tackled the background. But what the flat colorist does, once we get the line art from the inking process, we color it with a flat color, just a base color, typically the color of the normal skin color, not with light hitting on it or anything like it is with me with my side light over here. But what it looks like, and I try to choose colors that are going to be appropriate, close enough to match that he's not going to have to change it as often. I know Shelby Robertson, when I do it for him, he likes to change the colors to match his palette style. But I try to get it as close as possible. There's ones that change, and yes, you are seeing something different from the cover. The shoes are different, and even I colored the suitcase brown, but I was thinking I was watching It's a Wonderful Life. That came to mind, but Mark did it as blue. But I filled in all that, and then I come in afterwards, and once I have her isolated, I can then come through and do the background. So what I did is I colored everything. Let's see. Let's remove Gwen. Selected all the colors there, knocked out her color, and then went in and colored everything you see here. And I'm doing a little paint over myself here, just practicing. But try to paint in everything, color in everything with solid colors. So that way Mark can easily just select a color. And I need to be on the flats layer to do that. There we go. So I try to get all the windows so easily selected. for him. He can go through easily and just lasso this section here and change it to another color. It's easy to do. Same thing with over here. Maybe he only wants these ones to be lit. So now those are changed. The building colors as well. So I've done enough of these that I've got a process in place that easily will, go through and quickly knock everything out, select them, and try to figure out which ones were taxis and etc. I try to make the roof similar color so you can add a texture on top of it. But this is what I do for a living. One of the things I do, I should say. And this is what it looks like. Try to go through and get everything as close as possible. I didn't have anything for Ghost Spider. What occurred out there, I was watching, actually, now I think about it, I was watching the second Spider-Verse movie. And so I was grabbing colors from that, trying to match. And I know he changed them up to something different. But I'm just here to make selectable colors, and then it goes on to the next colorist, which is somebody who then renders. In this case, Mark does. I think he did this one himself. Sometimes he has another colorist as well that does it if he's busy with another project. But usually the process is once I flat a piece, then it goes on to the next stage, which is usually next colorist to gussy it up to make it look nice, and then lettering pops in. Make sure everything looks correct with the editor, off to print. So hopefully one day flat colorists, just like they do with animation, those flat colors there will also be added in. Again, not looking for the royalties. I mean, colors just got added on, a decade ago to get royalties. Just to have your name marquee. Then part of the hi-fi team, I can say I was doing that. So that's what I do. And then, you're not going to see that. So let's go back to my screen here. If there's any comments on either side. Oops. So the big announcement, I can finally talk about it. And I probably should have pulled it up on, well, it's on Instagram. Can't do that. But a friend of mine, writer, Mike Wellman, reached out to a bunch of people to see if anybody's interested in this special project, which is the Kamala Harris comic book. And I reached out to Mike and said, yes, I'm interested. So I have done 3 pages, count them 3, line sequential. I've done covers as well for other artists and writers, but this is a good one. So I did that 3 pages for this project about Kamala Harris. Covered her being sworn in, and then the Senate hearings where she did make a name for herself as well. So I'm happy to be part of that. I know it's a political statement, but she's like me. I'm also West Indian descent as well, so fellow, and I understand where she's coming from. But may have some disagreements again with policies and stuff like that, but because I'm not a Democrat, but much better than the other guy. So on that note, let's stop this talk for politics, because it's not what this is about. This is about watching me screw up over there on my drafting board inking. So we're gonna go do that right now. And so let's drive over. I don't know the character. I think this was a cosplayer, and I apologize. I'll have to look back through. If I do find the cosplayer's name, I'll definitely give her credit. I think I got it from maybe either Instagram or from Pinterest. But so I just drew this piece. It looked interesting. I wanted to challenge myself, and we'll see. So let's drive over to my desk, let's check it out and see what that looks like. All right. Time to Mr. Rogers take off the old glove. Neighbor, sorry for the shake. Put on the new gloves. So again, if you were to be a patron of mine on Patreon, I can afford a new glove, or at least some needle and thread to stitch that up. And I think the reason why I like this is it kind of reminds me of my character, Arose, from my comic, The Wayfarer. Similar kimono type outfit. So I'm trying this pen. I did test it out. The brush doesn't work. I think I could fill it with ink. But it's got some nice line thickness. I can lighten it. See, like I made a mistake there, but corrected it somehow. That was a mistake. So if you're in Florida, be safe. I hope you've evacuated the area, especially if you're in the Tampa Clearwater area. Oops. I was shocked to see my aunt post a picture of a tornado. I don't usually equate Florida with tornadoes. From Minnesota, so I'm used to them. Used to live in Texas, so I was used to them there as well. So I'm also, now that I'm looking at this, correcting some things I'm seeing. So I'm not just tracing over the line, but I'm trying to reimagine what it looks like. You get some nice thin to thick lines here. Oops. There's something on the page. I also broke out some new pens. So I might break into these microns. I get closer to the face there. Let's see. Unfortunately, I cannot see my screen, so I'm sorry if I'm not responding to any comments. Yeah. Made a mistake on that thumb. I'm going to have to erase that. Fix it. So I'm experiencing an ADHD thing right now. I was kind of in a rush to get this whole stream started. So I've got a lot of adrenaline, dopamine pumping through my head. So I'm not being very cautious, I should say, with this. I'm kind of cavalier at this moment. It's also to the music. Because when you're playing music, that you activate a lot of different areas in your brain. So everything's firing up there. And that's what ADHD is like for us. And we're just always chasing that dopamine hit. My daughter, unfortunately, is my youngest is plagued by it. Because sometimes you still think of them as, you know, a 5-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid, and they're growing up to be a little person, or a real person, I should say, and they're already grown up. But you still think, and so when you kind of egg on, it creates that thing in your brain that dopamine. And so it's wrong, I know. And as always, as a father, if she says stop and no, then you listen. You stop right away. You teach her what to expect from somebody else. If she says no and stop. Oh. The adrenaline's starting to come down, so it's kind of hard now to focus. Right. All right, so I'll probably use a straight edge on that. If I try to use a straight edge now, I'm just going to bumble around with it like I was in the dark. Since my painter tape is not holding anymore. It's going in, adding some line thickness. All right. I think with this pen, the ink is still going to be wet, so if I try to erase it, it's going to smear. But I think that is this finished. as I squeak over back to my desk. All right. So, as I said, most streams take about 26 minutes to half hour. Thank you again for joining me for day 9 of Dutchtober, the inking challenge. Please like, subscribe on YouTube. I'm trying to hit 1,000, going to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, by the end of this challenge. So let's make that happen. Please go ahead and share, comment, again, subscribe. If you, for a cup of coffee once a month, please consider being a patron of mine on Patreon. I'll be loading up the first PDF JPEG this coming weekend, so you'll be able to download that. And you can also get, too, if you are a colorist or want to learn how to flat, I do have my action. So if you're using Photoshop, you can use that action to quickly, as my friend Keenan used to say, sketch lift, take the line art, separate it onto its own layer and the transparent layer below, and then start flatting. So take care, guys. I'll be back here tomorrow at 3 again. So stay safe out there, stay sane out there, especially you folks in Florida, my family, everybody take care. And I'm out. Later.